Aroldis Chapman is not built to be the Yankee closer anymore. What's going on, guys? This is Erica from another episode of That's Baseball, Erica. 11 wins in a row. There's so much positive happening right now, but for some reason, I can only focus on the negative. But positives are that the Yankees are on an 11-game winning streak. They went into Atlanta, a hot Atlanta team, both teams being on a 9-game winning streak for the first time in a very long time. I think it was like the early 1900s. And the Yankees go to Atlanta, and honestly, they looked unfazed by the Braves. The Braves didn't look like they were a challenge to the Yankees. And that's because the Yankees are clicking on all cylinders right now. So you like to see it. Obviously, the second game of the series. So the first game, they win 5-1. Jordan Montgomery goes out. And the Yankees offense, gets them a lead. And they win 5-1. And then game 2, they win 5-4. Obviously making it interesting in the 9th inning. But what you love to see offensively is that things are clicking. Judge looks great. DJ LeMahieu's hitting home runs again. And Giancarlo Stanton is out of that slump. He goes on the weirdest slumps, but having him back in the outfield right now seems to put him in a groove where he looks better and more comfortable at the plate. So you love to see that, especially going into September, especially going into, this fight for the AL East at this point. So Yankees offense looks good, and that's without Gio Urshela. That's without Gleyber Torres, although I don't know how big of an impact that will be. But it's also without the 2 lefty acquisitions. So Anthony Rizzo, after coming off of COVID, is looking kind of sluggish. Looks like he's still trying to find his groove out there. And then Joey Gallo is doing what Joey Gallo does, which is having a great eye at the plate. He works the count so well, but for some reason his swing is just too long and he can't catch up to pitches. So once he starts making contact, the ball's going to fly. We've seen it multiple times already where he pulls a ball and it goes foul, but they're like 400 plus feet back into the seats. So a lot of things going well offensively. Also a lot of things going well with our pitching staff. But really my main concern right now is Aroldis Chapman. Aroldis Chapman has been one of the most frustrating bullpen pitchers that I've ever watched. And that has to be because I am so used to watching Mariano Rivera come into a game and being absolutely certain that he was going to close it out. He wasn't going to make things interesting. If he did, it was very rare. And I'm just a spoiled Mariano Rivera Yankee fan. But I also believe that Aroldis Chapman is getting paid as the best closer in the league, isn't he? He's making a ton of money to look like absolute garbage. He just does not have it. And it is absolutely frustrating to see him come into games and just ruin what the Yankees are building themselves up to in games. You have 8 strong innings that your team is going out there, and all you have to do is come in and shut the door. You have the stuff for it, but it's just not happening. And I attested a lot to he looked unhittable in the beginning of the season. And then all of a sudden, there was the crackdown on the foreign substances for the pitchers, and I 120% believe that he is in need of that. He needs foreign substance. I don't think he's using spider tack because obviously that's for spin rate purposes, and I don't think it's for that. I think it's to control his fastball. His fastball has been sailing left, right, up, down. He has zero control of it, and I think that even the slightest substance that he might have been using prior is now going to see deemed as foreign substance, but I think that he needs it because now he's going back to his slider 90% of the time. The slider is out of the zone. The slider is meant to be chased, right? So he's not going to throw a fastball that's going to be down the middle, down the plate, because he has no control of it. You can see it against the Braves. The Braves were not even swinging at one point. They were just like taking pitches, you know what I'm saying? So it's just that slider is ineffective when your fastball is ineffective. So right now he just is useless. He's absolutely useless. And it's so frustrating. He's not I don't know how you're confident with this guy. And honestly, I haven't even been confident with him before this. He gave up the Game 7 home run to Altuve. He gave up the Game 5 home run to Brosseau. He's ever since he gave up that home run to Rajah Davis in 2016 World Series, where Joe Madden absolutely just overused him, honestly, but he just hasn't had the confidence in big pressure situations. And as of right now, Jonathan Loaisiga should be closing out games, and it sucks. It sucks so bad because Loaisiga can eat up 2 innings. He can eat up 2 innings, especially in a playoff series where your starter. I mean, you have a starter going up against the best lineups in the playoffs. So your starter might not go 7 innings. He's gonna go maybe 5 innings, and that's serviceable because you still have a back end bullpen with Clay Holmes, Chad Green. I mean, Zach Britton, he does not bring anything to the table right now. But then you have Loaisiga, who could eat up 2 innings. And now you have to use him in the closer role, which I have no problem with. But it just stinks because you're getting paid so much money to just not be effective. And now it's ruining how the setup guy goes, your closer, all that stuff. Back to why I think that he needs foreign substance on the fastball. His velocity is down, which means that he doesn't have control of the fastball if he's throwing it over 100 miles an hour, which is what he's known for. So now he's throwing 96-mile-an-hour fastballs because he's trying to lower the velocity in order to have more control. And that's not working either, because now you're throwing 96-mile-an-hour meatballs over the plate. These MLB players, all these professional baseball players can hit 100-mile-an-hour fastballs down the plate. It's not a problem anymore. And I really want to see him turn it around. But if he doesn't, because time's short, he's not a closer. He's mop-up. He's a mop-up pitcher at this point. And Luis Severino is going to be a big part. If he's day-to-day but willing to come back or being able, healthy enough to come back in September, that's going to be your long relief arm, and he might come in big situations in the playoffs. So Yankees are going to Oakland now. They have a 4-game set against Oakland, a team that has been kind of losing ground on them in the wild card, but they're still a good team offensively, especially. And hopefully the Yankees can at least split the series so that they don't really gain ground and they won't lose ground. So that's going to be interesting to watch. And then they go to Anaheim or Los Angeles, Anaheim, and they play the Angels, which I'm not too worried about. The only player that I care about on that team is Shohei Ohtani. So just walk them and have the rest of the team try to do something. But yeah, this winning streak is definitely very fun. But of course, I can only focus on Aroldis Chapman because I just don't understand what's going on with him. Anyway, I really appreciate you guys listening. Thank you. If you can, like, subscribe, comment. Let's just talk some baseball. And as always, let's go Yankees.